Customers are being asked to tip even at self checkout, and some say it's emotional blackmail. Look, if any store even remotely tries to suggest you tip while you're having to check yourself out, never go back to that store, period. That is beyond moronic. Let's check this out. So, self checkout machines at cafes, sports stadiums, and airports are asking for tips, and customers aren't happy about giving extra money to machines. The Wall Street Journal reported on the rise of digital self checkout kiosks and how customers have responded to tip prompts. These prompts frustrated customers who were asked to tip workers with whom they had no interaction, per the journal. The report spoke to a half dozen customers around the U.S., though some people were willing to tack on the extra fees during self checkout. The majority said tip queues were confusing and many were unsure where the money was going. One customer who took a beer from a self service beer fridge at San Diego's Petco Park was asked to include a tip on his order, the journal reported. I was confused because it wasn't entirely clear who I was tipping, he told the journal, adding that he still tipped 20. You moron. Like, what? You're going to tip 20% to basically a vending machine. That is so stupid. A spokesperson for the stadium, which is the home of the San Diego Padres, told the journal that all tips went to employees. One, I highly doubt that. A traveler who was prompted to include a 10% to 20% tip on a $6 bottle of water at an OTG gift shop in Newark Liberty International Airport described the ask as a bit of emotional blackmail, per the journal. The customer did not tip. Props to you. A spokesperson for OTG told the journal that all the tip money collected is pooled and then paid out to the staff members working that particular shift. Again, I doubt it. Tipping has been an increasingly controversial point of debate in the country, with many Americans experiencing tipping fatigue as they get asked to tip at more places and face the effects of inflation. Landlords have taken to TikTok to make a case for gratuity to be added onto rent. What? While the first unionized Apple store in Maryland is fighting for the introduction of a tipping system. Why? That said, customers haven't stopped tipping. Total tips received by full service restaurants and quick service restaurants were up 16.5% and 15.86% respectively. In the fourth quarter of 2022, when compared to the same period in 2021, a spokesperson for the payment platform Block told Insider, this data reflects all tips received and not just from self service kiosks. No, that's just crazy. Let's see some of these comments. If I'm the one ringing up the stuff I'm buying at the store, shouldn't the store be giving me tip money? If a waiter or waitress wait on me at my table, you bet I'm tipping. If I gotta get it myself, good luck with that. I have no problem not tipping when the clerk did nothing but ring up my order. I only tip if the service is good. I don't bend to blackmail or lousy service. When in doubt, just click no tip. No, just no. Went to my local Five Guys, got a burger, and the girl behind the counter rang me up and said in a loud voice, "You gonna leave a tip with that?" There's 3 or 4 people making burgers who heard me say, "No. I like Five Guys, but I don't want to feel guilty just ordering a damned burger." I stopped at Starbucks to buy a gift card for someone recently. The lady turned the terminal around and asked me to select a tip. I turned the terminal back around and told her she could select no tip. Never tip unless you are receiving sit-down service. Eating out one night while on vacation, the restaurant wanted you to pull the menu up via a QR code. Oh god, I hate that. Like, this is something that I do not understand, right? Like, how lazy of a restaurant you gotta be where you tell your customers to go scan a code to then pull up your menu to then check out your menu via that, right? Say they don't even have a QR code scanner. Like, what? So and pay via online. Only interaction with the waitress was bringing drinks, never got a refill, and bringing the food. At checkout, they wanted 18% tip. Needless to say, they did not get 18%, they got 5%. So let me get this straight. You go to a store with your list, get your own cart, locate your items, and even some you didn't realize you may need, bring it to checkout, scan all your groceries, and bag them. I use cloth so I don't waste plastic or paper, and they expect you to tip who exactly? Yeah, I don't think so. I resent paying employers help for them. How long before we have to tip the heart surgeon and the nurse for emptying the bedpan? Landlords asking for tips on rent money now? Oh, hell no. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, what are you even talking about? That's insane. The only time I fall for this kind of thing is when the kiosk asks if I want to round up for St. Jude. Tipping is only for when you are being served and the service was good. I don't hesitate to touch no tip on screens that give an option for a tip. Why would anyone offer up a tip in a self service type of transaction? By offering a tip, you're emboldening the business to continue with this ludicrous request for undeserved tips. I don't use self checkout. I hate when grocery stores ask you to round up for charity. They potentially pull in tens of millions of dollars over the year, get a massive tax break, and prices still go up. I write my checks directly to the charities. Yeah, see, what a lot of people may not understand, I believe the stores that do that, where they say, like, oh, round up to the nearest dollar for charity, what really is happening is that, like, basically those companies that do that, to my knowledge, basically collect all that money and then send it out to those charities themselves, thus causing a massive tax break for that company. So, like, let's say that a company basically got $10 million that they collected from their customers. They could then just dedicate that straight to charity and potentially get a huge, huge tax break. I was confused because it wasn't entirely clear who I was tipping, he told the journal, though he tipped 20% anyway. Dot dot dot. Your answer for why everything asks for tips nowadays is because they know people will pay it. Basically, if I am already being pushed by lack of live cashiers to use self checkout, guess what? They are already making the monies I am not making for doing their job, so go fly a kite. I have no issue using self checkout for a handful of things, but when I am doing my own shopping, scans any customer service, i.e., ask for something under lock and key, and end up walking away after two requests in 20 minutes, unloading my week's worth of groceries, scanning week's worth of groceries, and then bagging to boot with no incentive, no discount at end, and frequently looked at like a thief, they or some have the nerve to think a tip is in order. Get a different job where you do not need a tip. How is me saying I have to vacuum my own car and having to tip at my car wash against community guidelines? What? It seems to be very low class to ask for gratuity, modern day begging. Yeah, feel free to give your thoughts on this. I just thought this was insane, right? Imagine going to Walmart and they're like, hey, leave a tip, leave a 20% tip at Walmart.